of Middle Tennessee and the Cumberlands. I am here on behalf of Darkenya Waller, who sends her deepest apologies that she could not be present this afternoon. She actually is scheduled to present at the Administrative Office of the Courts to present to the judges on a refresher course on domestic violence techniques for courts and ideas and things that courts can do to help the domestic violence problem. That's been scheduled for about a year, so in her stead, I am here to talk to you all about legal aid in Middle Tennessee and the Cumberlands and our request. Awesome. Good afternoon. Good to see everybody. So just a brief overview of what legal aid does. We are a nonprofit, the largest nonprofit law firm in the state of Tennessee. We serve 48 counties in Middle Tennessee and the Cumberlands, just as our name suggests. We provide free civil legal assistance to low-income residents in those 48 counties. Within our 48 county service area, of course, is Davidson County, and that's why we're here today. Our approach sets us apart because we provide comprehensive legal services. Sometimes clients come to us with a very discrete legal issue and they think they just have one problem, landlord-tenant or domestic violence. But then we get to talking to them and we find that they have several other issues that they could also use civil legal assistance for and assistance with, and we're able to provide that for them. Our services are provided at no charge to these individuals as long as they qualify. We also work with a lot of pro bono attorneys in the bar associations in Davidson County and through our 48 counties as well. We work with them to provide pro bono attorneys to folks that we can't serve immediately. We can refer cases to those folks and they're able to assist them. We also work with clinics. We have a number of clinics throughout our service area. We just started one with Belmont Law School, and we're really looking forward to that partnership and looking forward to serving more residents here in Davidson County. Our request is a two-part request. The first part deals with providing legal services to survivors of domestic violence. What we would like to do is just remind, in 2018 we served 229 individuals in our Nashville Family Law Unit. And firm-wide, which covers, of course, all the 48 counties, we were able to close 283 cases on behalf of survivors of domestic violence. Here in the Nashville, Davidson County area, we do have 3 attorneys in our family law unit, 2 advocates, and several support staff who provide services to these clients. We attend orders of protection with our clients, and part of what we can do for the funds that we're requesting is we're going to continue attending order of protection dockets, and we're going to attend at least 72 of those dockets to provide assistance to individuals seeking those orders of protection. In 2013, as your documents state, there was a report, the Domestic Violence Safety and Accountability Assessment, noted that there needed to be more advocates in the courtroom. So we've taken that charge to heart, and we now have 2 advocates that switch off. We have a Spanish-speaking advocate as well as a primarily English-speaking advocate who work in the court system here in Davidson County on Mondays and Tuesdays at the order of protection dockets to provide services and advocacy for individuals seeking orders of protection. The second part of our request was to provide reentry services. It's to provide legal services to formerly incarcerated individuals in an attempt to help them gain successful reentry and reduce recidivism. Some of the services we can provide those individuals include criminal record expungement, some certificates of employability, and driver's license reinstatement, all very valuable things that folks, getting back into society often need, and that we found have been, they've not had access to an attorney to help them with those requests. The reason we use attorneys with some paralegal support to provide some of these services is because there's to get the certificate of employability, there is a hearing, and it really helps to have an advocate, have an attorney there at that hearing to help the individuals, get that certificate. And as your documents state, in 2013, the ABA study showed that there were only 19 states that had any type of legal reentry program, and none of them were in the Southeast, with the exception of Arkansas, that had a very small program that provided services to very few people. Since 2015, Legal Aid has piloted this type of program. We had dedicated funding to do that, but that funding has since ended, and we're looking to come back and be the coordinator of those types of services and provide additional training to our partners as we have in the past, and provide additional services for individuals seeking reentry, legal help with reentry. So for the first part of the ask was $300,870. And for the second part of the request, we were asking for $85,757 for the reentry portion of the request. And the reentry portion of the request would provide a part-time attorney as well as paralegal support to provide these legal services to individuals. As you noted in your documents, we've shared several stories of clients who have been assisted through our domestic violence services for domestic violence survivors. In addition, when talking with our family law unit this morning, I got a couple more stories where we had a client, our advocate was actually sitting with her very recently in an order of protection hearing, and she had her head bowed and she was trembling, and the accused was at the other end of the courtroom. But when the advocate told her, "Turn around, look, your attorney's here," she sat up. She, that just actually the thought, just seeing her attorney gave her power and empowered her to, go forward with her case and to actually win that order of protection that she needed for herself and her children. So we're seeking these funds to continue providing those services to residents of Davidson County. We feel that, we're deeply committed to the premise that all citizens are entitled to do an equal representation under the law, and we feel that by providing access to justice for these two vulnerable populations, we're contributing to them being productive citizens and to fully participating in the success of Nashville. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Your current year appropriation is 169.
That is correct.
Is that correct? So tell me the biggest difference between what you're doing this year and what this proposal will cover.
Absolutely. That's a great question, and thank you for asking. What we're going to do is the population of Nashville is increasing exponentially, and the cost to provide these services continues to go up. So we will be using this funding to continue the ability to keep the 3 attorneys here in Nashville and the advocates that we've recently added and the support staff to continue providing these services for the domestic violence survivors.
Okay. So no more, the number served won't go up. You're just...
The number served could potentially go up because we continue to get calls and continue, that is not ending. But we have committed, let me go back to my notes. We have committed to serving 187 unduplicated residents of Davidson County with these funds.
And the portion where you're working with the incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am.
That's
Yes.
new? Is that not new, or is that what you're doing now?
That's relatively new, and we can provide limited services. So we had dedicated funding starting in 2015 that ended in 2018. So during that time period, we were able to provide those services, and we were able to actually act as sort of the coordinator and provide training to other community partners on how best to serve individuals who were seeking to reenter after being incarcerated. But we're seeking this additional concentrated funding to again be that coordinator and again provide those services on a more intentional basis.
I was going to ask, what are those services? Like, what type of service does someone who is formerly incarcerated need?
That's a great question. So what we can do and what we have done is we provide criminal record expungement services. We also work with individuals to get their driver's license reinstated. Sometimes for various crimes, driver's license are suspended. And we also work with them to get certificates of employability, which are really important when folks have a record and they're seeking to be employed. To get that certificate of employability, you do have to attend a hearing, which is why we suggest having an attorney do that and why we've always had an attorney do that, because they are able to advocate very effectively on behalf of their clients and try to, and are successful in many cases in getting that certificate, which then allows an individual to get a job and start, paying taxes and contributing.
Can I follow up on that?
Yeah.
So didn't the state come in and say that they couldn't charge now for the driver's license reinstatement? So does that work look different now?
To my knowledge, it does not, but it's still, sometimes we find a lot of folks need help just navigating through the system and through the process. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's difficult to know where to go, who to call, how to do that. Mm-hmm. So having this attorney and paralegal working together with folks makes that process work much more smoothly for those individuals.
What's your annual operating budget?
Approximately $8.4 million.
Isn't there a component to the Legal Aid Society that will also help individuals connect with different services as it relates to healthcare services?
Yes, we do have a health and benefits unit that does work with individuals to access health care and then to, move forward. Do they need to get on TennCare? Do they need to look at TennCare choices? What types of services do they need to access there? We also work with folks on Social Security and some SSI related issues.
So none of your requests for funding will impact any of that, though?
It will actually free up some of those attorneys' times to be able to focus on the healthcare aspect and not focusing so much on domestic violence, because our attorneys work in several different areas. We don't have dedicated attorneys that work just in one area.
Do you know off the top of your head who some of your biggest referral partners are that refer into you all?
Yes, for domestic violence, the Jane Crow Advocacy Center is a huge referral source for us, and we take their referrals directly. And then our advocates also work with some of the Jane Crow clients and the Jane Crow advocates in the Order of Protection courts. We also receive referrals from the Office of Family Safety here in Metro Nashville, and we have been huge supporters of the Office of Family Safety, and they've been huge supporters of us. And it's, they fully support our request and ask for these funds as well.
So are you going to request CPF funding through their process?
I do not know right off the top of my head, but I would be happy to research that and to submit a written request if that's question. I don't think that we are. I think we're submitting a direct request, but I would be happy to take a look at that if you'd like and
Just
submit an
curious.
answer.
Part one, I know part one says
Yes.
it's for residents of Davidson County. Part two, is that also just for residents of Davidson County?
I believe so. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Just for residents of Davis County.
All right, okay.
Thank you very
All
much.
right,
Thank you for
thank you
coming.
so much.
Thank you.